I am Peppy, not the donor, as we mentioned before. Right. We're all friends. So that's, you know, in case you guys are wondering why are we taking the word donor so seriously, it's because I'm more than that, you know.
Good.
Hey, cousins.
Hey, cousins.
Hey, y'all.
So y'all know when we're at this green couch, we got some serious things to talk about.
That means it's serious.
It's very serious.
Sirs.
So I need y'all to go ahead and, you know, do what you gotta do. Go get your popcorn, your soda. Tell your kids to be quiet so you can tune in and listen.
Ooh, we should have some popcorn. That would have been good.
That would have been good. Or some.
No, because Jamilla smacks with popcorn. So anyway, not to get off topic. So we put a poll on Steven's Instagram, also our Jamilla and Que Instagram, and we put a poll.
Quiet on set.
So we put a poll on, Steven put a poll on his Instagram, and then I put one on Jamilla and Que, and we just asked you guys a couple of questions you wanted to know from us. So we wanted to take the time out to answer these questions in the most nicest, truthful way possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Jamilla jump into the very first most asked question.
Okay, so the most asked question that we get, even when we're not asking about Jamilla and Que, even if we ask it, you know, what's your favorite day of the week? The question that we're gonna get is, when and where is baby number 2? And I want to know why everyone is so into my uterus, but they not into these doctor bills. They not into this daycare bill.
Come on, somebody.
Hello. And Harper, we just found out grew 7 inches in 1 year. Can we talk about clothes?
Right.
Thank you. Although Target, we're here if you need us. Anyway, but yeah, y'all, you know, but we can set something up. You know, if y'all want to go ahead and.
So when is baby number 2 coming?
Ooh, when is baby number 2 coming?
Oh, child. Well, y'all know. You will know. One day, perhaps.
Okay, so since J Mills put the most asked question, I'm just gonna go ahead and jump into the most annoying question. And the question wouldn't be so annoying if you guys kind of changed around the verbiage. But when y'all ask, are we using the same donor? And this is just me being very transparent and not trying to offend anybody, but how many donors can sit next to you in a video?
Right.
This is Harper's father. This is Harper's father.
Y'all see
Harper's father. He's not a donor, so if you guys can please in the most nicest way and respectable way, though, because, you know, we were grateful to go the route that we were, that, you know, let's just respect Steven and call him her father, because that's what he is. He's not a donor to us. You know, he's way more than that, so we just asked for that respect. And that's all I had to say. Hopefully I didn't offend anybody. If I did, I apologize, but I just want you guys to know that, you know, I'm not being called a donor, so I can only imagine how it feels to Steven. So maybe you should let them know how it feels, so that they stop.
Just stop.
Right, that just doesn't feel good. I can imagine. All right, so Steven, I'll let you go ahead and get into the first question.
All right, question is, what's the hardest part about being new parents?
Okay, I think we all can answer that separately. So go ahead, Steven.
For me, the difficult part is, okay, as you all know, I do live abroad. I'm teaching abroad. So, you know, the whole communication, like, yeah, thank God that we do have FaceTime and I'm able to text without issues because we're Team Apple. Hey, there you go. So you can text from any country as long as whatever person you're texting has Apple as well. But, you know, sometimes people's schedules don't really align, and then, like, you know, every summer when I do return, which right now is not summertime, you have to, like, coordinate times that work for everybody to be able to stay at people's places. You know, I don't have a home in the United States anymore, so it's kind of like tough trying to accommodate for everybody, trying to, like, you know, meet, hang out with my parents, hang out with my siblings, hang out with my friends. It's just like balancing, and then also being a father at the same time, and then, you know, trying to find my way in the middle of this relationship. So, you know, it's a combination of a lot of things, and making sure that Harper is happy. And she is getting the best experience as a child possible.
Ooh. It's a tough one because, okay, so I think we all have, before we become parents, we always say like, oh, I wouldn't do that. Or when I was growing up, I wasn't allowed to do X, Y, Z. Or I wasn't allowed to do this or that. But some of the things that we grew up in, the culture that we grew up in was different than the culture it is today. So sometimes it's hard for me to separate that, okay, well, I wasn't allowed to fall out and express myself. Well, maybe it's okay for Harper to express herself, but it's a way to kind of channel that expression so that it's more positive and not negative. So it's me balancing out kind of like how I was raised, and I don't even think I was raised like very tough, but I was raised in a very Southern household. But it's like taking things that I want to keep from that, and then things that I may want to expound upon. And then also being in my profession, I was very hardcore, like, I need to continue moving, I have to provide for my family. It wasn't like a dollar amount in my head that I wanted to get to, but it was like a certain level of success. And I don't even know what level of success or what job position it was, but having a baby and being a woman, it definitely, it's still some hurdles as a country that we have to take. So it's still conversations. Yeah, I gotta leave early because I gotta get my child from daycare. Yeah, I can't spend 50-hour work weeks anymore. So it's just that kind of that was difficult for me.
And for me, I think the hardest part was the trust factor, because like, you know, well, for me personally, you know, I carried Harper for all these months, and then it's like you have to give her to the world. You have to be okay with potentially strangers, because when we dropped Harper off at daycare that day, I didn't know any of these people, but you have to trust them to know that they're going to take care of your baby just as you would. So it's just that piece. Like, the hardest part is for me trusting people around my kid, trusting that she's safe, like, and that goes like a lot into my anxiety issues. So my biggest thing is just knowing that when my child is not away from me, she's okay. So that's my hardest part, and I still struggle with that, but I'm much better.
You okay?
Right, so the next question was, you guys wanted us to elaborate on our family dynamics. So I'll just do the surface, and then we can dive a little deeper. But of course, Stephen teaches abroad. He's currently in Punta Cana, right?
Dominican Republic, for those of you who don't know.
And Jamilla and I are here. So Harper lives with us full time. So as of right now, that's just what it is. You know, as things change, if Steven ever comes back, of course, that would just be a different story. I mean, for me, in a perfect world, he would get a place, have an extra room, so I could drop her off and bye-bye. And get to my life and have my weekends back.
I live in the DR, as you guys already know. Yes, I do live far away. Currently, I live closer because last year I was actually living in Asia, which took like a day and some change to get home, which was horrible. And then you also have to incorporate jet lag, which took forever to deal with as well. But now that I'm closer or whatever, you know, I can actually come back and forth with little issues. I'm trying to do this, like, you know, get a different experience, but at the same time to save more money so that way I can actually be more established here. Not saying that I had any issues before, but I just want to, like, you know, just save more money so that way I can have like a solid foundation and finally have a place to call home. So I am Peppy, not the donor, as we mentioned before. Right. We're all friends. So that's, you know, in case you guys are wondering why are we taking the word donor so seriously, it's because I'm more than that. You know, I'm actually involved emotionally, financially, etc., etc. Anything that a parent would be, however they would be involved. Okay, so we're friends, and we are all together. We're working as partners to raise a child. That's our dynamic.
Right. And then in some cases, of course, Jamilla and I have to make immediate decisions, like what school is Harper going to go to, because we have to consider our day-to-day travel and commute. So some of those, but decisions like long-term, we run it against each other. We're in a group chat. So things like that, we just try to discuss and keep it in the loop. Like even when we decided the school, we sent him the link and everything. But ultimately, because we're here, we have to do real-time decisions, like what pediatrician she needs to go to and this and that. But you know, Stephen's been very helpful with his idea of her going to a bilingual school. So like there are different things on the table. We just haven't got to that point yet, age-wise, with Harper.
Next question, would you like to read that one, Jamilla?
Yeah. There were a couple of questions about Stephen's future partner and how they will be incorporated in this throuple.
So I find this to be an interesting question because honestly, I don't know how I feel about having a partner.
Wait.
I mean, essentially, I would like one, honestly, but it just doesn't. I have not had the best of luck in dating for some reason. So, however, if I do happen to find a partner, he would only be considered long term if he actually can fit into our relationship. I know that does sound like a pressure or whatever, but it should be, because this is a whole human being that we're trying to take care of, and we all need to learn how to work together in order for us to actually be able to last long term. Mm-hmm. So if I don't see a person lasting like happily ever after or whatever, he won't be included in my life. Oh, and for those of y'all who are wondering, because somebody thought I was bisexual.
Oh yeah. They said him or her. Maybe that you might need to try it, or
maybe they were giving options, like they didn't know.
I don't want that. Sorry, you guys.
Like Herbert said, I don't want it. I don't want
ladies, y'all are beautiful and everything like that, but I'm just sorry. I have a type. Anyway, but what was I even saying? I don't even remember anymore. But yeah, so I mean, if I don't see long term with him, then I'm okay with the partnership that we have right now, and this is enough love for me. But I would try to
make... You got to take care of your man issues. We can't take care of them.
No. That's right. That's right.
You know, your intimate, your needs, your sexual needs.
Well, if you guys are looking for a partner,
we good.
Here's your man. I'm single. Hey. I guess I'm ready to mingle, but yes. But another question that was asked is, was I nervous or indecisive about becoming a parent? Honestly, the way I've seen, like, Jamilla and Que together in a relationship, it was just like, without a shadow of a doubt, I knew that they would be great parents, and I knew that it would have been a great partnership. So honestly, I had no nervous doubt. The only thing I was nervous about was how was I going to where was I going to be in this whole situation?
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize it until later on how to incorporate my family into the whole situation. Like, how are we all going to fit into this whole family dynamic? But I was never indecisive, of course everybody has like first parenting nerves and everything like that and jitters, but I had no doubt that we would be a great team at all. So
Paul, speaking of Steven's parents, so some of you guys did ask about that. So I don't know if we ever told you the story, but Jamilla and I will tell you the story. So this is how Jamilla and I kind of created our own relationship with Steven's parents, because it was one of those things that he just told us one day, hey, I applied for a job and I'm moving to Vietnam, so if y'all want to have a baby, we need to start like right now. So
true story.
So like that was us. So we like, wait, what? Because we had this whole plan where we were gonna date each other like the rest of the year. We were gonna take like 6 months to date each other, just us, before we even did the baby magic. So then he kind of tells his parents, what do you tell them? Like, I'm going to Vietnam. And
I don't even remember.
Lesbians pregnant.
But before we even go into this, I didn't quite apply for a job. What had happened was the opportunity kind of presented itself. Like, I was just talking to a friend on Facebook, and I noticed that he was teaching abroad, and he's been doing it for a couple of years. So I was just like, hey, I'm just curious, how is it going? I was literally just inquiring about his life, like how is he doing, how is he coping, just playing catch up. And somehow it turned into, hey, we're looking for a Spanish teacher. I was like, wait a minute, Vietnam looking for Spanish? That makes no sense. Explain. And he was just like, he kind of just wooed me with everything. And I was like, well, this sounds like an excellent opportunity, but I didn't take it seriously. I was just like, well, let's see how this goes. Because, I've always wanted to teach abroad, but I didn't think that, I would get presented with this opportunity. So I was like, sure, give me the interview, send my resume to so-and-so. And the next thing you know, boom, boom, bam, here I am. I'm like, oh, Sequina, Jamilla.
FYI. BTW.
So I think we found out that we were pregnant like on your birthday, or maybe like a couple of days around it. So what did you tell your parents?
What did I don't remember? So I said, Mom, Dad, hey. So you remember how you guys really wanted me to give you some grandchildren? Surprise! They were a little confused. My dad was like, so how?
Correct.
Are you exploring your options?
Now, knowing Steven's dad, I could just see him like so serious. I can see your mom just being quiet. Like,
my mom was, yeah, that's
just like trying to like figure out if she gonna cuss you out or not.
That's the Leo in us.
So she was like, I could tell, like, I could read her mind sometimes, I swear to God, but she didn't say anything. Her face, if you know my mother,
yes.
Her face says everything. But at the end, they were like really happy for, you know, everything that we were about to encounter and everything, and they really want to be involved in Harper's life because they love being grandparents. This is their fifth their fifth grandchild, so they were really excited about this. And so afterwards, you know, now that I was living in Vietnam, my concern was, oh man, I got to find some kind of way to bring this family together, and I'm 12 hours into the future. I don't know how I'm going to do this, like, you know, trying to find some kind of way to blend our family together. And next thing you know, I'm getting these texts, like pictures, like, hey, we're over here at the lady's house. I'm like, you didn't even tell me anything. And then Shaquina was like, we don't need you.
We do not go with you.
Right, because I think we started off like with a group chat with all of us, and then we kind of just took them to the side with our own group chat. We met them for brunch, and then Jamilla's mom also came with us, and then after that we kind of just did our own thing. We tried to meet up, and then when the baby was born, of course, as soon as they knew, they came the same day to come see Harper. And then now, like, our relationship with Steven's parents, like Jamilla and I, we love it. Like, it's just, we have hit a place where we are extremely happy and relatable because they are a Gemini and Leo as well. So outside of like grandparents and stuff like that, we can actually like relate on like,
yeah, we had to develop our own
we're developing our own relationship.
Yeah.
So it's just like
even outside of Harper, outside of life, because even with them, like typically, you know, you have a courting, so like someone knows you're dating someone and then you bring them home to the parents, and we didn't do all of that. We brought like a child home to the parents. So like even like Steven's father would be like, well, you guys know, like you guys are like my daughter-in-law, like y'all. And that's kind of like how we've had to frame the relationship. But we've sat down and had really good conversations. I mean, because Steven's gone, so it's not like he was here to even be a buffer in person. Like,
right.
Oh, mom, Jamilla likes this. You like this too. You guys should talk about that. Like, no, we had to kind of like all gel together.
Yeah, and I think like in just like anything, you know, you have to figure out the way. So I think like there was a point where we were struggling. We were all trying to get on one accord, but like now, it's just, I don't know, it's just like that one time we met and it was just us and them, and we just like, this is what we needed. We didn't need all the kids around. We just needed us four.
Yeah. I don't know what Harper was doing that day.
We didn't run around.
Yeah.
So yeah, so like we have a good deal. Harper has a slew of grandparents.
Oh my goodness, yes.
So like
6.
So like yeah, so everybody's parent, like Jamilla's mom and dad are involved, my parents, Steven's parents, so she is like, she got all the love, okay? She's spoiled. Okay? And
when we pray, we run down the whole list. She'd be like, Mimi, Mima, Peepa. Like she just run like I.
Oh yeah, so interesting. Yeah, enough. So like my parents are Mima and Peepa.
My parents are Abui and Papapi.
And then my mom is Mimi, and then my dad is, I think it's Afi, which is Icelandic for a grandfather.
Yes. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys still have questions in regards to some of like our dynamics, Jamilla and I did a video. I'm just referring them back.
I'm just kidding.
Just referring them back to the video that we did. I believe it's like the truth about our child's father. Definitely go look into there, because honestly we were very open in that video that you guys really shouldn't have any more questions. Again, we're just giving you more. But yeah, so make sure you guys like this video, share, subscribe it, and drop your comments down. Don't have too many questions, guys. I feel like we answered all the questions.
Yeah, we've had a couple of repeat questions.
All right, y'all. Later.
See you later.